Rain hit the windows like whispered warnings as Emma folded the last of her mother's hospital bills. Her fingers trembled. The total was more than what she made in 6 months waitressing. She exhaled, shaky and hollow, then glanced at the crumpled flyer beside her bed. A job. Live-in housekeeper. High salary. No references required. But then, at the bottom, scrawled in bold red ink like a warning, only apply if you're desperate. Desperate was exactly what she was. The job was at Hawthorne Manor, home to the town's most feared and whispered about figure, Damien Hawthorne. A millionaire. Maybe a billionaire. Nobody knew for sure. But everyone knew the stories: a man so cold that his own family had left him, a recluse who barked orders and fired staff weekly. A tyrant in a tailored suit. No one lasted more than 3 days. And yet, Emma showed up at the iron gate the next morning, her worn suitcase in hand and her heart pounding so loudly it was hard to hear the intercom buzz. The door creaked open. No butler. No maid. Just Damien himself, tall, graying at the temples, with eyes that could chill summer. He stared at her like she was something unfortunate clinging to his porch. "You read the notice?" he asked, voice as sharp as glass. "I did." "Still here?" "I am." He let her in without another word. The house was more mausoleum than mansion. Dim halls, covered furniture, and silence so thick it echoed. Damien pointed toward the guest wing. "You'll keep to that part of the house. You clean. You cook. No small talk. Don't go near the west wing." Emma nodded. The next weeks were survival. Each day brought a new test: meals rejected without a word, floors inspected with a white glove, stern glances over even the smallest mistake. Still, she persisted. She stayed late. She learned his silent rhythms. She watched as he limped slightly when he thought no one saw. She noticed he never smiled, never left the house, never received visitors. But slowly, small things changed. One morning, she found a note beside the coffee pot: "Better scrambled eggs today." Another day, he left a scarf by the door for her when it snowed. And then, the piano. It was late. Emma was dusting near the west wing when she heard it: music. Hesitant, broken, but achingly beautiful. The door to the forbidden room was cracked. She peeked inside. Damien sat at the grand piano, back hunched, eyes closed, as if each note cost him something to play. She should have walked away, but she couldn't. The music was sorrow itself, echoing down the empty halls like a man trying to remember joy. He noticed her. Their eyes met. She waited for him to yell. Instead, he simply said, "Do you play?" Emma nodded. "My mom taught me. Before she got sick." He stood slowly, motioned toward the bench. "Then play." Her hands trembled as she touched the keys. She played a lullaby her mother used to hum in the kitchen. Damien sat silently, eyes misting. "She used to play that," he whispered. "My wife." From that moment, things changed. They played piano together in the evenings. They shared simple meals in silence that turned to short conversations. She learned he'd lost his wife and daughter in a car crash 10 years ago. That he'd shut the world out since. That the house wasn't haunted, he was. She didn't pity him. She saw him. And for the first time, someone saw her too. Winter turned to spring. Emma began placing fresh flowers in the halls. She opened the curtains. Brought life to the house he'd let die. One afternoon, Damien handed her an envelope. Her pay. But inside was double what she expected. She tried to refuse it. "I'm not giving you charity," he said gruffly. "You've given me a second chance." She cried in the garden that day, not just for the money, but for the first time in months. It wasn't fear or sadness. It was hope. But life has a way of testing the things we hold dear. Emma's mother's condition worsened. She needed experimental treatment, expensive, urgent, not covered by any plan. Emma started applying for jobs elsewhere. Longer hours. More pay. Damien noticed. "What's wrong?" he asked one evening as they sat by the fire. She tried to lie, but her voice cracked. She told him everything. He listened. Quietly. Then got up and disappeared into his study. The next morning, he handed her a check. A blank one. "Fill in what she needs." Emma shook her head, tears flowing. "I can't accept this." "Yes, you can," he said. "Because I need to give it. Because saving her might save the last part of me that still knows how to care." Her mother got the treatment. And recovered. Emma stayed on at the manor. Not as a housekeeper, but as a companion, a friend, and eventually, something more. Years later, Hawthorne Manor wasn't cold anymore. It rang with music. With laughter. With light. The man the town once feared now donated anonymously to every shelter, school, and hospital. And when people asked what had changed him, he would always smile and say, "A girl took a job no one wanted. And reminded me how to live."